Together with Earle Sports Bets, yeah, the twins, they be checking in, stacking up. Green is the scene that you're stepping in. Winning is a trend, and we stay making dollars. Nerd talk with the sports bet scholars. Yeah, R.I.P. to the bookies. R.I.P. to the bookies. R.I.P. to the bookies. R.I.P. to the bookies.
We are live. Welcome back to another edition of the Earle Sports Bet Show. My name is Nicholas Earle. I'm joined here as always by my brother Tim. And today, not much to go over. We have 4 games in the NBA. That's it. And I believe at the end of the show, though, because on Friday starts the college baseball season. Figured we have a little bit of fun, seeing that it's only 4 games we're going to be going over. We're going to throw our Omaha 8 in. I kind of want to take some shots. I have a feeling when I fill out my Omaha 8 here in a couple minutes when Tim's breaking down a couple of these games, I'm not going to go for practical ones. I'm going to go for ones I would want to bet and stuff like that. Yeah, betting wise are the ones I would put money on. Because of course, I mean Tennessee is going to make it. They're minus 105, though. I think you mentioned a couple minutes ago. But that being said, yeah, I'm interested in probably a couple longer shots and stuff like that. But with that being said, quick recap of yesterday. Let me get up bet stamp, and then we will get into that where it was. It'll load a negative day yesterday. Yeah, down 2.56 units. NBA, other than Cleveland, was a clean reverse sweep. My favorites did not cover. My dogs did not come close. Orlando minus 5.5 was a loser. They lose outright. It's frustrating because I had a free bet, or I had a bonus bets from the Super Bowl that Bet365 gave me. And in order to, because with the bonus bets, I don't put them on actual plays. I like to go for plus money scores and stuff like that. It was only plus 114, but I tried to go with Cleveland money line, San Antonio money line, Orlando money line. Orlando money line sold it, but that would have been whatever. San Antonio minus 11, they win by 10. That was annoying there. And then Cleveland destroyed Minnesota, 128 to 107, so a nice winner there. Miami plus 7.5, they lose big time, and that was annoying. Because it was, and here's the thing: you can make an argument, the injury report, all this, all that. I was just following my trends of betting on Boston after they lose and betting against them after they win. And I'm going to be right against Boston in the next game. I don't even know who they play yet, but I'll be right back on that angle until I lose multiple in a row because I've done really well doing that angle. And then Utah plus 13, they lose by 19. Kind of frustrating there. College basketball went 2-1. We had 3 big favorites. Alcorn State. That one hurt. That one hurt to do against our Delta doubles. Yeah.
But I knew that play was going well because I didn't even look at the score until halftime, and I saw it on Twitter that Mississippi Valley State Delta Doubles Twitter account says there is no score. There is no score, and it was 44-16 at halftime.
Yeesh.
Yeah, so that one was ugly to see.
But yeah, that was a winner though. Alcorn State minus 17. McNeese State came up short. We had them minus 19.5. They won by 16. And then Jackson State though. So we had a little bit of SWAC action yesterday and Southland action with McNeese State there. So I love the smaller conferences. But yeah, so there's that. So slight down day from yesterday. I do have some odds on DraftKings for conference winners for college baseball regular season. But I don't know how much we're going to dive deeper into those.
Yeah. But yesterday, Nick, was a slight down day. Down 0.15 on the site. It is what it is. I did get the over in that Cavs game. Alcorn State was a winner. McNeese State was a loser. I took a shot with UNC, thinking that it was going to be a bad spot for Clemson after beating Duke. It was not. I added that play to the college basketball card, but I also added the under in the Northwestern State Nichols State game. Under 137.5, finished at 132. Nice winner there. Jackson State winner. And then we won't talk about the Utah Jazz that I took spread and money line on. That was the reason why we finished negative. I will take that shot 10 times out of 10, 100 out of 100, because I would always want to fade that spot. It's just something that I do. And you know what? It didn't work out that time. So what? But we'll see how it goes. I have my Omaha 8 set for talking in the end of the show. 7 of them have odds. 1 of them did not.
I think one of mine is not going to have odds.
Because one of them I wanted to take a big shot with, and I do like my Omaha 8. Now they are rough choices for right now because I haven't seen how any of these teams play, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
Earls, you're the best. What's up, Skeet Rock Farms? Welcome. Fantastic to be here taking notes. And what's up, Isaacs? Welcome. All right, Nick. Let's go through the NBA card.
Yeah. We have the Philadelphia 76ers and the Toronto Raptors. -9 are the Sixers, total of 225.5. Let's take a look at the line history in this one here, where it opened up at an 8, now a 9. So we do have a 1-point line movement towards these Sixers. Line opened up 226.5. It's down to a 225.5. So we do have a 1-point line movement towards the under. Let's take a look at the cash flow in this game, and it looks like it's going to have me long back in. That's fun. For the we're good. Okay, cool. It just took a second to load. I didn't need to log in. 61% of tickets, 63% of the cash is on the Philadelphia 76ers. The line's at least moving towards them for those who want to back them. 91% of tickets, 91% of cash is on the over, and this line's dropping half a point. Which definitely interests me in maybe an under. I feel like I want to bet some more unders now that like we're it's kind of like settling in and I can finally like not finally but like because we've had plenty of sample size with these teams. We have Philadelphia coming in off of 3 straight losses. They've given up 135, 125 in their previous 2 losses there to Milwaukee and Detroit. When we look at Toronto though, they're a team that can score in the low 100s. I think 225.5 is a little high here in this one. And the market's kind of pointing towards that direction as well, with the line dropping, even though 91% of tickets, 91% of cash is on the over in this game. The line's dropping towards the under. I think I'm going to start my card with the under here in this game at 225.5, 226. I'm going to try to shop around, find the best of all number. I am going to start it here. And it's 225.5 -115, and we're starting to see some 225s and 224.5 because we're starting to see those 224.5s over on books like FanDuel and Bovada are offering those. So under 225, 115 is how I'll get my day started.
These have been 2 teams that have been struggling, and I love nothing more than to see struggle. The 76ers struggle. The Sixers are currently sitting on the outside looking in. Granted, they're only a game and a half back still for the play-in spot, and they're 12 games under 500, which is just stupid. If they were in the West, they would be third from the bottom, and they would be 27 and 16. They'd be 6.5 games back for a play-in spot if they were in the West. Just saying. But I'm never laying 9 points on the Sixers. Toronto on the road is not something I'm going to go out and trust. I don't hate your under, but I don't feel the need to want to go after this one. I have a feeling today's going to be a big college basketball day for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then tomorrow might be a bigger NBA card. Well, it is a bigger NBA card tomorrow. Yeah, I like that. Okay. How about more basketball, Nick?
Yeah. Also, I kind of want to throw in before we talk about Omaha 8, futures for the Four Nations face-off. Because we have lineups now available for the Four Nations face-off. I want to go over those as well because that starts tomorrow.
Okay.
So I'm going to type. I'll type that in, whatever, for that. So we'll move on. So we'll move to the next game. We have the New York Knicks and the Indiana Pacers. -3 for the Knicks, total of 239.5. Let's take a look at the line history in this game. Line opened up 1, got all the way up to a 3. It's back down to a 2.5. So we do have a line move towards the New York Knicks in this game. Line opened up 236.5, now 239.5. So we do have a move towards the over here as well. Taking a look at the cash flow, we have 72% of tickets, 77% of the cash coming on the Indiana Pacers. The line's moving towards the New York Knicks. The money line is where the Knicks are going to hit, though, a little bit. 62% of tickets, 83% of cash on the money line for New York. 84% of tickets, 86% of the cash is on the over in this game. And at least for those who want to back the over, the market's showing respect for it. It's gone from the 236 number up to that 239.5 number. We have the Indiana Pacers coming in off a loss. They to close out their 4-game Western road trip in Utah, Portland, LA, and LA. They lost 124-117 against the LA Lakers as 4.5-point favorites. On the flip side, we got the New York Knicks coming in off of a bad loss where they caught the Celtics at the wrong time off of a loss.
Yeah.
It was 131-104, an absolute blowout, which makes me very, very interested. And with that, we're seeing the public liking the Indiana Pacers because of it. And I'm getting a good line to back the New York Knicks. So as much as I don't want to bet every single game on the card, I'm going to move on this one here. Give me the Knicks at -130 in this one on the money line. Yeah, you can lay the 2.5. I think this could be a little. I'm a little bit safer when it comes to basketball compared to when it comes to other sports. Like I'll take shots in baseball. I'll take shots in other sports like that. I played a little bit safe when it comes to basketball. I'll take money lines when they're -135 or lower. I'll take the 2.5, 3, or the points most of the time now. So Knicks at -130 for me in this game.
I was kind of looking Pacers, but I understand wanting to go after the Knicks. You typed this up as a 3. When did you type up these lines?
Like half an hour ago.
Okay, I'm seeing a couple 2.5, so that's why I asked. Which is okay. I was kind of leaning Pacers money line, but with the Knicks getting blown out in their last game, that's gonna be the one thing that kind of keeps me off that spot. This has been obviously, I'm high on the Knicks. I have them to win the East. I feel like this could be a fun little over spot. The Knicks have gone over in 6 out of their last 7. And the Pacers like to play with tempo. They've gone over in 6 out of their last 8. I think I'm going to get my NBA card started with the over in this one, Nick. Over between the Knicks and the Pacers. Over.
Yeah, I could see that. The market's respecting that. It is public, but I mean, it's moved 3 points, so I feel like that kind of neutralizes that. Yeah, I could see that angle with the over. I probably lean towards the New York Knicks team total over. Yes, I'm aware you can't put that up on the site. But yeah, that would probably be where I'd lean on the total wise, would be just taking the New York Knicks team total over.
7 Pacers over in 6 of 8. Boom. That could very well be my only NBA play today. This is for Champions League, Manchester City versus Real Madrid. First half over 1.5 goals. And IceX is on the Knicks. There you go. Let's go to this one, Nick. 1-800-GAMBLER game?
Sure feels like it, right? We have the Chicago Bulls and the Detroit Pistons. We have the Pistons 4.5-point favorites with a total of 237 in this game. Taking a look at the line history in this one here. Opened up 3.5. It's now 4.5 for Detroit. So we do have some market respect here for those Pistons. Line opened up at a 237. It's still a 237. Let's take a look at the cash flow in this game here, where we have 65% of tickets and 74% of cash on the Bulls. Line's moving towards the Pistons. That's really, really interesting for me. Wanting to go after the Bull or going after the Pistons. However, I think one thing that can ultimately keep me off is, actually, never mind, because it's the money line and it's a bigger favorite. 72% of tickets, 76% of cash is coming on the money line for Detroit. So I do see this as a little bit of a public dog here with the Chicago Bulls. 80% of tickets, 80% of cash on the over here as well. I can only go Detroit or nothing. That would be the only way I would look at this game. If I am betting it, would be Pistons or no bet. It's a small lean for it at the moment, but no play.
Oh, that's regular season champs. Never mind. I found conference champions, but they're regular season.
Yeah.
Not to win the conference tournament.
No.
To get the bid.
No.
That's
regular season.
Yeah, all of the what do you call it? Have them. Bet Rivers has a bunch, so
DraftKings has a bunch too.
Bet Rivers has like 24 of them.
Yeah.
Too
bad that book's not available here.
It is not. I kind of lean to Detroit in this one. I looked at this. Detroit's been one of those sneaky teams. Although Chicago's been weird all year because they're 22-31 record-wise. They're 24-28 against the spread. And I feel like they'll cover in like the most random games. Like they covered versus Denver. They covered a random one versus Miami against Toronto. I will say these two teams just played on February 2nd, and it was an 8-point win for Detroit. So it could be a little bit of a short-term thing, but Chicago's not a good team, and I don't trust that one. So I'm going to end up having to stay off this game. It'd be a lean towards Detroit, but I'm not really overly interested in going after it.
Fair.
And when I do have, now I see what 11.7 I'll put out, but I can see all the conferences that we could choose them. Oh, it is regular season stats. Okay.
Yep.
It's not conference tournament.
Mm-hmm.
No chat, so we'll head to the last one, Nick.
Yeah. We have the Memphis Grizzlies taking on the Phoenix Suns. The Grizzlies 4-point favorites, total of 244.5 in this game. Let's take a look at the line history in this game here, where it opened up. If it'll click, there we go. With the Memphis Grizzlies around 2.5 3-point favorites in this game, immediately went to a 3 from a 2.5. 3 minutes after the line opened, and then from there it went to a 4, and that's where we're seeing it now as a 4. Line for the total, it opened up at a 238.5. Within about an hour and a half, it was up to 240.5, and it's done nothing but go up since then. So it opened up to 238.5. We're seeing 244.5. A massive move towards the over. 64% tickets, 67% of cash on the over. Line still moving towards it. I feel like if you like the over, you've missed your line. It's moved 6 points. There's no point in betting an over in this spot, and if anything, I lean under or no bet. The only thing is asking these teams to play some defense. 86% of tickets, 83% of cash is on the Grizzlies. The lines at least move towards them from the 2.5, 3 number up to the 4. We have Memphis coming in off of a loss against OKC. They lost 125-112 in their previous game. On the flip side, we have Phoenix coming in off of a loss as well. They lost 122-105 against the Denver Nuggets. I will have plays on the early games. I will not have plays on the later games. I have no interest in this one whatsoever. Under or no bet, I think, for me. But it's looking at just 2 plays in the NBA for me, which I am totally okay with.
I think I'm just going to stick with the over in the next game and move on. I feel like this is a Grizzlies or nothing spot. Grizzlies are the better team. I don't trust Phoenix. Phoenix is coming off of a blowout loss, though, so could be a little bit of a bounce back spot for them. Phoenix is currently a half game back of the Warriors for that final spot, for that final play-in spot. Memphis currently sitting number 2, but they have a red-hot Denver Nuggets team right on their ass because the Nuggets are the hottest team in basketball. Oklahoma City and the Lakers, both 6 wins in a row. Nuggets with 7 wins in a row. So Memphis has got to watch out for them too. And I know that there's like a system for contenders for the NBA Finals. It's called the 40-20. 40 wins before 20 losses. Right now, there's 2 teams that have hit that, which are Cleveland and Oklahoma City. The only other teams that have a shot at hitting that are Boston and New York on the Eastern Conference. Boston 38-16 right now. Knicks 34-18, and then Memphis, Denver, and the Lakers. Memphis is 35-17. Nuggets are 35-19, and the Lakers are 32-19. All of them have a shot to hit that 40-20 mark and be the part of the contender club or whatever. At the end of the day, I think Memphis gets there, but it would be a look towards Memphis in this game. They definitely have something to play for. Although it's funny because they're 8 games back for first place and they're second in the West.
Hey, we know who the 1 seed is. That's for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yo.
It's good, Joe.
What's up, Joe? Disappointing Super Bowl? 100%.
Very, very disappointing.
100%. Joe.
Wow.
What's up? All right, Nick. I'll let you take control for a couple minutes and let you do this.
Yeah, I know. I know we'll probably get some opinions from Isex in the chat as well. But how about some Four Nations face-offs? I just want to go over. Maybe a little bit of futures odds and things along those lines, and the rosters, because we do have the official rosters now. And we'll start off with the odds. These are according to DraftKings Sportsbook. The United States and Canada are co-favorites, plus 160 apiece. Sweden's 4-1 and Finland's 9-1. Let's get it started with one of the co-favorites. We have the United States. Their top line is centered by Jack Eichel, and on the wings will be Matthew Tkachuk and Kyle Connor. Second line, crazy. This is a second line center is Austin Matthews, centering Jack Hughes and Jake Kensel. That's a fun line. The third line is JT Miller, New York Ranger, with Brady Tkachuk and Matt Boldy. I think that's a fun little line there. And then their fourth line is Vincent Trocheck with Dylan Larkin and Brock Nelson. I think that is a sneaky fourth line that can have some good goal scoring, especially when you have Larkin and Nelson, 2 really strong goal scorers on the wings. For the defensive pairings, the top pairing will be Jacob Slavin and Adam Fox. On the second line is Zach Werenski and Charlie McAvoy. Third line is Brock Faber and Noah Hannafin. It's a strong blue line. Faber, one of the up-and-coming blue liners in the NHL. Slavin and Fox, they're 2 guys that have been around for a little bit now. Slavin, one of the best stay-at-home defensemen in the league. And I think he counters Fox really well on that one. Their top power play unit will be Eichel with Hughes, Werenski, Matthews, and Tkachuk. Where the United States will have the edge on Canada is in between the pipes. They have last year's Vezina Trophy winner, Connor Hellebuck. The backup is Jake Ottinger, and the third string is Jeremy Swayman. Will this team be very good? Yes. Is there holes in this team? Yeah, I mean, I think the forward group, when you look against the team that will have the Maple Leaf on their jersey, it gets vastly out. I think that's where Canada is going to have to take advantage. If we have a Canada-United States finals, their forward group is significantly better. And we're going to get into Canada in just a second here. I think if the United States wins, it'll be because of their goaltending. I think that's where it's going to be the difference and we'll talk about that. Let's bring up the next one. Team Canada. This is the other favorite. Their lineup, their forwards are insane. Let's get into it here. We have Connor McDavid on the top line with Mitch Marner and Sam Reinhart, a 50-goal scorer last year, Sam Reinhart, and a Stanley Cup champion. On the second line, we have a multi-time Stanley Cup champion and captain, Sidney Crosby. Oh, yeah, who is he centering? Stanley Cup champion Mark Stone, Stanley Cup champion Nathan McKinnon. That's an experienced line with plenty of cups. Braden Point will be centering the third line, also a Stanley Cup champion, with Seth Jarvis and another one, Brad Marchand, on the third line. Their fourth line is Anthony Cirelli, Stanley Cup champion, Sam Bennett, Stanley Cup champion, Brandon Hagel, multiple-time Stanley Cup champion. They've got a lot of cups on this team, this Canada team, and it doesn't stop there. Their top line, how about let's keep the top line, the top pairing from Colorado together. It's Devon Taves and Cale Makar. Two of the best defensemen in all of hockey. Devon Taves, a better stay-at-home defenseman. Cale Makar, we know what he can do. He's a current-day Bobby Orr. Their second line is Josh Morrissey, one of the better defensemen in the league from Winnipeg, and Colton Parayko. Their third line, how about let's get some experience here. Drew Doughty, a multiple-time Stanley Cup champion, and Shea Theodore, a multiple-time Stanley Cup champion for multiple different teams. This team is insane. Here's the one problem that we can easily poke in Team Canada. Their starting goaltenders are Aiden Hill. Their backup is Jordan Binnington. Their third string is Samuel Montembeault. They're going to need 4 or 5 goals a game in order to win, because you have the talent that we have with the forwards for Team USA, for Sweden. They're going to give up goals. But when you have McDavid, when you have McKinnon, when you have Crosby, when you have Marner, when you have Reinhart, Stone, all these got really good forwards, team total overs for Team Canada is the way to go. If you want to back Canada, do not lay minus 200 with them tomorrow. Take the team total over. Let's move on. Third team on the list, 4-1, Sweden. I think this is your dark horse team. That if you want to pick one that is not Team USA or Team Canada, I would take Sweden over Finland. Obviously, the odds are better for Finland. But with that being said, the team for Sweden is significantly better. Their top line is Elias Pettersson, centering Philip Forsberg and Andre Kempe. Their second line is Mika Zibanejad with Ricard Raquel, and a player I think can lead the tournament in goals, William Nylander. Their third string is centered by Joel Eriksson Ek. Lucas Raymond and Jesper Bratt will be on the wings for them. Elias Lindholm is the fourth line center with Gustav Nyquist and Victor Arvidsson. Their blue line is pretty strong. Victor Hedman and Jonas Brodin will be on the top one. Brodin, a really strong stay-at-home defenseman. Victor Hedman, the captain, a really strong offensive-minded defenseman. Their second pairing is Rasmus Andersson, more of a stay-at-home guy, with Rasmus Dahlin, somebody who can come in, pinch, and be more of that offensive-minded attack defenseman. And their third line is Matthias Ekholm with Erik Karlsson, a really strong third line. Their goaltending is where things can get interesting a little bit there, because they're trying to decide between Philip Gustafsson and Linus Ullmark to be their starting goaltender. I think that's another question mark for them. I would probably go with Ullmark over Gustafsson, but that's pretty close for those two. And I think that could be a little bit of their downfall. Also, they just don't have the firepower that a Team Canada does. And then the final one here is Team Finland. If you want to be taking a shot in this one, yeah, you can take a shot with Team Finland. Obviously, they've got talent here. I think Team Russia would have done way better than a Team Finland, and we'd be probably talking in a Team Russia that could be a favorite in this tournament, but I retract that. The top line is Alexander Barkov with Patrick Laine and Teuvo Teravainen. Sebastian Aho will be centering now teammate Mikko Rantanen and former teammate of Rantanen, Arturi Lehkonen. So a little bit of connection there with the Avalanche and the Hurricanes for that second line. The third line is Rupe Hintz, the new Seattle Kraken Capo Caco, and Mikael Granlund. Their fourth line is Antoine Lindell, centering Joel Armia and Eetu Listerinen. Their blue line is interesting because they don't have much depth here, and I think this is definitely by far the weakest one. Isla Lindell. I'm getting way too many freaking whatever calls. Spam calls. Isla Lindell and Oila Mata is their top line setter, followed by Juuso Valimaki and Henri Jokiharju on their second line. And then Urho Vakanainen with Nico Mikkola. It's very weak. That's a problem. Their goaltending situation is UC Saros and Kevin Lankinen. That's their top two. I'd probably go Saros as their starting goalie for this one there. But Team Finland, they're a team that maybe can squeak out a win, but they're not a team that they're the long shots for a reason. I mean, if I'm placing a bet to win the tournament, I'd probably say Canada has the best overall team, but that's not breaking any news here. It's the goaltending situation that kind of pumps the brakes for me when it comes to Canada. I think Sweden is live to make the title game if we don't get Canada USA. I want to count Finland in, but at the same time, this is a weak team other than their top 6 because it falls off after that. Their depth is not nearly what is for Team Canada or USA or Sweden. So something to keep an eye on. If I had to place a bet, it'd probably be Sweden and Canada. Those would be the 2 teams that I would take shots with. Probably a slightly bigger bet on Canada just to offset with the odds there. But overall for me, that's where I'll be looking. I think team total overs for Team Canada are the way to go in this tournament if you're looking to back Canada because they're going to be favorites in probably every game. So that's kind of where I'm looking at for the Four Nations face-off. Anything you want to input there, Tim?
I'll give you my 100% honest opinion. I looked 0 into this. It's a bunch of exhibition games. I barely bet NHL to begin with. I do bet it, but not crazy. I'm not going to jump into a bunch of exhibition games, especially when one of my favorite sports is starting up this weekend, and I have a lot of prep to do for that. So I think you're going to have fun with it. I'll be rooting for Sweden and Finland because you got Dahlin going for Sweden, and you got UPL and Joki Harju going for Finland. The United States made a big mistake by not adding Tage Thompson, but I would take a shot with Sweden if anything.
Yeah, I think this is something where if I'm betting it, I'll put a unit on Canada, I'll put a half unit on Sweden, and sit back and hopefully enjoy a Sweden versus Canada final.
There you go. I have Sweden plus 420. I love the roster. There you go.
I like Sweden a lot, yeah.
Who are you liking for stick puck? USA is strong. Oh, can't wait to see USA versus Sweden. Seeing Mike Sullivan lead Team USA should be interesting.
I'm not a fan of that.
Nick spitting facts. Go Sweden. Finland stinks. Kentucky today. Let me pull up college basketball. I forgot who Kentucky was against today. Oh, Tennessee? No, I lean Tennessee today. Last time they played, it was in Tennessee. I'm actually going to take Tennessee as a situational spot on this one, not because I already added Vanderbilt and Texas. I'm going to add Tennessee because last time these 2 teams played, it was in Knoxville, and Kentucky walked out of there with a win. Line movements putting everything towards Tennessee in this one. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the Vols at -2.5. So no to Kentucky. Purdue, yes. Kansas State. Kansas State's another one that I was looking at. The only problem is I really like this Arizona team. So yeah, it could be it is a system play. I'm probably going to end up adding Kansas State as well, plus 3.5 at home versus number 13 Arizona. Yeah, I'm going to end up adding Kansas State. Although I really love Arizona. And then Creighton. For me, in that one, it's UConn or nothing. UConn is unranked again this year. So there you go.
UConn's a fun team. I'm thinking baseball. Never mind.
UConn's gonna be ranked. Baseball for sure. Actually, I don't think they are right now, but I will say, and we'll talk about college baseball in a minute. UConn will not win the Big East. That will be one of my bold takes.
Xavier.
Yeah, Xavier. Creighton -3.5. Yes. No. Why aren't you a fan of that? Okay, Sir Michael. All right, Nick. I'll let you go first with this one.
Okay.
For the Omaha 8, and then I have my Omaha 8, and I have my crazy take for the college baseball season.
Well, I think my crazy take, you'll see when we click my Omaha 8, what my crazy take is.
Go ahead.
It is that Southeastern Missouri State makes the Omaha. The odds are
That's definitely crazy.
The odds are not available for it yet, but this is a team that I really like. And I'm gonna warn whoever gets them now. If this is a team that you see in your regional, watch out.
Yep.
This is a team that was one game away from a super regional last year.
In the Arkansas region, they beat
Arkansas.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they not only beat Arkansas, they beat the 2 seed in that team.
Kansas State.
No, they beat them once. They couldn't beat them twice.
Correct.
It's a team that I really like. Tennessee, I think that's and I'll get more into Timo in a second here. Tennessee, I feel like this is the obvious one. The reigning champs, they'll do whatever. They'll make it back in. Virginia is a team I always like because their team is like, oh, are they good? Are they not? They'll make it. They'll somehow host their own regional, and then next thing you know, you blink and they're back in Omaha.
And then you blink and they're out. So
yeah, they're a team that will probably be 2 and done at Omaha.
Yeah,
but they're a team I have my eye on. Texas plus 290. This is a team that I'll keep my eye on as well. SEC is going to have plenty of teams make Omaha. And I mean, I could have easily put into my list Texas A&M. I could have easily put teams like Florida and Georgia and Kentucky. Just stacked my Omaha 8 full of SEC schools, but that's not the way I wanted to do it at all. So I wanted to take some shots with it. But with that being said, Texas is one that I like out of the SEC. Arkansas as well. I think they're a team that'll be sneaky in the SEC this year. Florida State plus 250. I'll put it out there now. I think they win the ACC. I think they have the best pitcher in the ACC. And I think they have a really legit chance to win that conference. Next one, yes, I'm biased. I'm a biased piece of shit. Call me now down. This is the year ECU makes Omaha because nobody is thinking to make Omaha. Like last year was like, oh, this is the year they break in. A couple of years ago, it was the same thing. People are picking Tulane to win the conference. People are looking at South Florida to win the conference.
Wichita State.
Wichita State, my bad. What? Not South Florida. Wichita
Not
State.
South Florida.
People are picking teams not call East Carolina to win the conference. There's a lot of transfers. There's a lot of question marks with this team. A lot of freshmen that I really like coming in. And yes, I'm a biased piece of shit. I'm going to add them in there. Vanderbilt plus 370. You give me a price like that on a team with that pedigree. Yes, I know this is not the same Vanderbilt teams from years past, but I'm going to continue to buy into the name value. And yes, SEMO. And I know people are going to, I feel like, overlook SEMO a little bit this year because of last year. Because there was almost 2 teams from the Missouri Valley Conference to make a super regional last year. Because Southeast Missouri State, right? Oh no, that's Missouri. That's Missouri State. Where is why am I drawing OVC? I typed in the wrong one. Okay, never mind. Yeah, but I think SEMO, the Ohio Valley runs through SEMO until further notice.
They are minus 500 to win the regular season for.
Yeah, they're gonna run through the. They're gonna run through them that conference pretty easily. They are returning a lot of their players, and this is a team that was 1 win away from a super regional last year. Unfortunately, DraftKings are not giving me odds on them, but that is my dark horse for a small school to make Omaha will be Southeast Missouri State this year.
By the way, sorry, SEMO is minus 250 to win their conference regular season.
Yeah.
Not that they have brought back a lot. I think they lost 1 or 2 players and brought a couple in that were really nice pieces. Here we go. My Omaha 8. I did take some chalk because I did take the top. I took 2 out of the top 3 teams. I took Tennessee. This is the national champions. They did lose a bunch, but Tennessee's a team that just reloads.
They reload.
And they've been one of the best teams in college baseball since 2019, pretty much.
Yeah,
they've been one of the top teams in baseball. Texas A&M's probably the best team coming into the year. They made it. They picked up a lot through the transfer portal, and they have a lot of good freshmen coming in. It's going to be a very scary Texas A&M team coming into it. I took a Virginia Virginia is always one of those teams. How can I represent them? They're the Toronto Maple Leafs.
They make it.
They make it and then fail.
But they make it.
But they did win the College World Series in 2015. So they have had success there. Their players have been there before, and they're bringing back a lot of good talent. Arkansas, I think, is going to be my dark horse to win the SEC
regular season. I was thinking the same.
And the national championship.
Whoa.
Arkansas 10-1 to win the Natty. I think there's definitely some value there. They have some very nice transfers. They have their Saturday starter that is coming out of ECU and Zach Root. But this is a Arkansas team that is stacked. And the thing is, everybody's looking at Tennessee and LSU and A&M and even teams like Florida and Texas, although I like Texas, and we'll talk about them in a minute. Arkansas is going to be – Arkansas is not only going to win the SEC, they'll be a top 3 team in the nation at the end of the year. They'll host their own regional. They'll host their own super. They'll make Omaha.
Yeah, and when you look at that Arkansas team, you can do a lot worse than replacing Hagen Smith with Zach Root.
You could. Texas is another team. They're SEC, so their ROI is going to be way up. I don't know what this is one of the teams that Texas, I don't think will host their own regional, but will make Omaha. I think they're going to go into a regional, win somebody's regional. Like they could realistically
watch out because they might throw them back in College Station.
They're not going to throw them back in College Station. I could easily see them going to the Dalbap regional if Dalbap makes it.
Oh, Dalbap is going to dominate this
or
year.
Coastal's regional if Coastal hosts the regional, or even
Greenville.
No, I don't see them going to Greenville. I could easily see them getting thrown into the Troy regional if Troy wins the Sun Belt. So this is a Texas team that I have making Omaha, but I don't know if they win the region. I don't know if they host their own regional. ECU, because I'm a biased piece of shit. Stanford. Stanford's going to be one of those hit or miss teams this year. They're either going to have a very, very good year in the ACC, or they're going to have to get used to traveling still. Because this is going to be the first year in the ACC. The travel schedule, week in and week out, heading to the East Coast to go play some of the top teams in the nation. Because I'm going to...
Do they what? They make trips to Charlottesville and Chapel Hill, I believe this year?
Stanford University baseball schedule. Let's look. I'm just going to pull them up real quick because it says Stanford team. They got the one guy from Japan that is going to be an absolute tank. They start off at Fullerton for freaking 4 games. Washington, not a big deal. Xavier, that's going to be a fun series for 4.
Xavier's challenging themselves.
Then,
I want to throw Xavier in my Omaha.
So the Eastern Conference, not Eastern Conference, but the Eastern Coast teams that they have to go to, March 7th through 9th at Chapel Hill.
Yep.
They get to play Cal there. March 27th through 29th versus Virginia. Then they do that. April 11th through 13th at Clemson. May 2nd through 4th at Boston College. I think that could be a really weird one for them because those are a bunch of weird games. That Boston College is going to be an interesting team. NC State from May 15th to the 17th to end the year. So they have 5 out east trips. If they can win 3 of those series, I think that's good for them. And I think this is a Stanford team that is a big boom or bust team because you even look at them to win the ACC. Where's ACC? ACC regular season, Stanford 30-1. I think there's value in that. Although when it comes to it, I'm taking Wake Forest to win the ACC. But I don't think Wake Forest makes Omaha. There you go. And then probably you took SEMO. Give me the College of Charleston.
That's another one.
That's a team that I'm going to be super freaking high on this year. They were the biggest snub from last season
yes,
to not make the tournament. what did I think College of Charleston won 41 games last year?
I think they run through the Colonial Athletic this year.
Like this is I'm pulling up their 2024. They went 41-14, including 21-5 in conference. They did not make the tournament. Instead, they put in Florida, who ended up making Omaha. But anyways, College of Charleston was the biggest snub last year. I think they come out with vengeance because this is a team, and that's a conference that's going to be one of two teams, them or UNCW. And unfortunately for the Colonial, it's a one big conference like we saw last year.
Yep. So
I do think that they have the opportunity to take the biggest shot, and make the biggest boom to make the tournament. So College of Charleston, there's no odds for them to make Omaha, but I think they're going to be one of your smaller schools, fun schools to root for when it comes to them. And I think if they win their conference, I think there's a decent shot they host a regional. If they win 41,
if it's a one big conference, I think if they win their conference, they will still get a 2 seed.
Honestly,
and they will be a 2 seed that I would not want to see whatsoever.
They're gonna be a very tough team. And then I threw an extra thing in here, Nick. My boldest take for the college baseball season: not only will Hawaii win the Big West, they will host their own regional. Because we need a regional on the motherland. On the island, I should say. This is a Hawaii team. I did not pick to make Omaha because I feel like that's a little bit too outlandish. They honestly could have had a shot to make the tournament last year.
Yeah.
And they brought back a lot of their talent.
Hawaii's a team that I always wondered how they don't get as good of recruiting. Like your literal recruiting pitch, if you're somebody who works for Hawaii, is you get to go to college in Hawaii. Like, how difficult is that to recruit?
Yeah. Like last year, Nick, they went 37-16 in conference, 37-16, 20-10 in conference. They won their final 5 games. They were even 11-6 on the road. They split a series against Ole Miss. Granted, they lost a series to NC State, and they didn't really play much else. They got swept by UC Irvine and swept by Santa Barbara, which are going to be your top 2 teams in that conference. But they brought back a lot of talent, and they had a lot of momentum to end the year. I think Hawaii could be one of those dark horses. And Hawaii's going to be a team that you're going to see at the end of my card a lot for that midnight game.
Oh, yeah.
And they're going to be a lot of fun to watch. So Hawaii will be my my dark horse to not only win their conference, but to host a regional.
Mine would be Xavier.
Xavier is going to be my pick to win the Big East. Like I said earlier, UConn was not my Big East choice because everybody's picking them. Is there a Big East here? No. Big East is on Bet Rivers. And if I go pull that up, Big East, Xavier is plus 600 to win the regular season conference championship. But have you seen Xavier's schedule?
Yes, that's exactly why I love them.
And I know we keep bringing up other teams, but I'm going to do this. Xavier's baseball schedule to start the year, they can go 6-12 to start the year
and still be ranked
and still be in the top 25 RPI.
Oh, that's what I meant. Yeah,
they get Oregon State, Indiana, UNLV, Oregon State. It's a mini tournament starting on Friday. They get at Louisville, which is going to be a good team this year. At Liberty, which is going to be a good team this year, which is not an easy face. Another game against Indiana. 4 games at Stanford, which is not easy. A game in Knoxville against Tennessee. 3 games in Nashville against Vanderbilt. A game in Baton Rouge against LSU. At Sela, which is favored to win their conference. At Tulane, who is a dark horse to win the American. At versus Ball State, who is a decent, has a decent shot to win the MAC conference, I believe. Pulling up MAC conference real quick. I believe they are one of. Oh, there is no MAC conference on here. That's one of the ones that they're missing. But a decent one to fit in MAC conference play at Kentucky. And then they start off conference play with UConn. Man, the amount of SEC schools that they play and ACC schools that they play, and they're going to be facing 97 and 95 miles an hour. When they head to Big East and they're facing 92, 93, it's going to look like softballs.
Yes, that's why I love them so much this year for the Big East.
Oh, and they also get Wright State, which is always a tough middle school.
Which they're going to win their conference this year, Wright State. Like they're going to run through the horizon. Right? Horizon? No.
Yeah. But Xavier is a team that I'm going to take to end up winning the Big East. I think that I know it's a little bit of a long shot, but I don't think UConn's going to get there. Although UConn has brought back a bunch of talent, they're going to be a solid school. I want to take a shot with Xavier.
Yeah.
The power of ECU, we believe. Yes. When are we doing baseball futures? We're going to start them soon. We wanted to see a little bit more with the rest of the signings because there are still a couple big free agents, but it should be within the next couple of days.
I can't. I'm ready to go for both the Central and the East. I'm currently working on the Houston Astros. I've already done the Mariners, I've done part of the Mariners. I'm completing up the Astros here in a second or a few minutes after the show. I'm ready. I've almost got the entire American League capped.
Yeah.
Oof. And those Chicago White Sox this year, they're kind of nice. They made a lot of moves.
Chomp, chomp, chomp. So Cerna's a Gators fan. Didn't even know people watch this. Oh yeah. I've been big into.
The game is getting better. The game is getting better.
I've been loving college baseball. It's been a very, very profitable sport for me. So I love it. But that is today's show. We will have. I will say we will have a bunch of college basketball up today. I'm going to be putting up a couple of totals, and then the card will be put up. So it's going to be a really good college basketball day too. So, but that's going to do it for this edition of the Earle Sports Bet Show. We'll be back again tomorrow with another one. Peace out, guys.